Ammonite was directed by Francis Lee and it stars Kate Winslet and Saoirse Ronan, and I finally saw this movie. Pretty much every other critic that I know saw this at film festivals. I had a chance to, but I didn't. I figured I'd wait until the release of the movie, and it's now out on premium VOD. I got a chance to check it out, so I can finally talk to you guys about it. In this movie, Kate Winslet plays Mary Anning, who was a famous historical archaeologist, and she specializes in finding ammonite on the shorelines and presenting it to the rest of the world. One day, a man comes in and says, "Hey, I'm also interested in finding some stuff, but I have my wife with me. And if she could spend some time with you and get some fresh air also and really get to see the work that goes in, that could be really great for her." And as Mary is staying with this woman, they both develop a bit of an attachment towards one another and they have a relationship of sorts. When you have Kate Winslet and Saoirse Ronan headlining your movie, you are expecting some pretty good stuff. And there are things to appreciate in Ammonite, particularly the two of them. They're both excellent. Really great performances from the two of them. There's great chemistry that the two of them share, and a lot of the movie is really just them. There are a couple of other actors in it, like Fiona Shaw, but beyond that, you really just focus on these two women. Very similar to another movie that came out last year, which I'm sure this is going to inevitably get really compared to. The movie is beautifully shot. There's some gorgeous cinematography, there's a beautiful score, there's some excellent costume design, and it's really well directed as well. Where I think Ammonite suffers, however, is its storytelling and scripting, because it feels sort of emotionally lacking. I didn't really feel for the characters as much as the movie wanted me to. And there's also not a lot of characterization given to the two of them beyond some sparse details here and there, and even some of the details that we do get is in the form of exposition. And I found myself sort of emotionally distant from these two characters. While they were both giving really good performances, and like I said, they had excellent chemistry, the movie wants you to be more invested in the fact that they're a couple at some point and that they're having this relationship. And there were points where I wasn't being able to get myself invested in it as much as I wanted to be. And I was saying earlier that this is going to inevitably be compared to another movie. And that movie is Portrait of a Lady on Fire. It also has a lot of very similar beats. The major differences between Ammonite and Portrait are the characters doing what they're doing. There are very different professions the two of them have. Also, perhaps a coincidence, but both movies were distributed by Neon. So there are going to be people who are going to see this film and inevitably talk about how this might not be as good a movie as that one. I don't think that should be the case. I think you can have multiple movies like this in the same genre, in the same setting. It's about what you do with it differently. So I'm not going to compare it to Portrait, even though there are a lot of similarities here and there, but they are very different movies at the core. Just because they share a very similar aesthetic sort of appearance does not necessarily make them the same movie. So I'm not going to compare it. But I'm going to see reviews comparing it, so that's unfortunate. But in the end of the day, I want to look at this movie on its own accord, and on its own accord, I found this movie to be fine. It could have been a lot better. It could have been a lot more tightly written. I think it could have been much more compelling. But like I said, the reason is because I didn't feel the kind of connection to the characters that the movie wanted me to feel. It's really the performances from Winslet and Ronan that keep this movie afloat. However, I do recommend still seeing it because it's doing the rounds around and a lot of people have very different opinions on it. So this is a kind of movie that I'm sure is going to have some debate. You might really like it or you might not. I'm interested to hear what you guys think of it. So without further ado, I'm going to give Ammonite a 6.5 out of 10. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'm going to have a review for Sound of Metal up very soon as well. Can't wait to talk about that. As always, if you like this, please do subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the movies.